Looks a little small for me, but I like the style. What do we got?
We have a jacket worn by Keith Richards during the Graham Parsons tribute concert back in 2004, Return to Sin City.
The Keith Richards.
The Keith Richards.
Keith Richards, Rolling Stones. Okay, what a life. I mean, I just have this theory that Keith Richards is going to live forever.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's got some secret sauce.
Yep.
Because we all know he should have died 25 times.
I'm here at the pawn shop today looking to sell my jacket worn by Keith Richards. A friend of mine was working for a charter company that flew the Stones around, and Keith left this jacket on the plane. They tried to get it back to him. Management just said, hey, hold on to it. So she came to me and said the Graham Parsons tribute concert was for charity. So she said, hey, if we can sell it, let's donate it to charity. I'm hoping to get $17.50 for the Keith Richards jacket.
I think it's really cool. Keith Richards, an amazing guitar player. He grew up in England, actually went to elementary school with Mick Jagger. They both ended up moving, and right around, I think, 17, 18 years old, they ran into each other on a train platform. They started talking. Next thing you know, they started a band, and they are still going strong. All right, so we got tags, but they're very, very worn. But that could have been from the whole dyeing process. We have one label here that's missing. We have washing instructions, but nothing that says Keith Richards.
Unfortunately not.
Because all I'm seeing here is a sports jacket that's really cool tie-dyed, but doesn't fit me. How much you want for it?
Looking to get $17.50 for it.
All right, I'm intrigued. I'd like to call on my rock guy to take a look at it. He's the #1 guy in the industry. Hopefully he knows something about this jacket, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll be right back. Warwick will definitely give me some satisfaction on this. What was the concert?
Graham Parsons tribute concert.
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you buying?
I actually ended up getting a guitar signed by all of the cast of the tribute concert.
Okay.
So the concert was a tribute to the late, great Graham Parsons. The reason that Keith Richards was the headliner, take you back in time to the band The Byrds.
Okay.
Graham Parsons joined the Byrds. In doing so, he brought country music into rock and roll. The Byrds did a world tour. They were supposed to go to South Africa. Now, somebody told Graham Parsons it wasn't a good place to go because of apartheid, and we really shouldn't be supporting that. So he took that excuse to go and hang out in the south of France with Keith Richards at the mansion where they were writing Exile on Main Street. And famously, Graham Parsons taught Keith Richards country licks. And he's supposed to be responsible for songs like Wild Horses.
All right.
So that's why he was the headliner at the Graham Parsons tribute show.
Okay. Is this the jacket?
Take a look. It's very nice quality. We can tell that right away, and it's... So that's the sort of thing you'd expect Keith Richards to pull off the peg for a special concert.
The only person who can pull off those outfits is a rock star, so they don't make two of them, do they?
We could go through plenty of photographs. It's dip-dyed, so it's going to be very easy to show all the little variations in this.
So you definitely believe this is Keith Richards' jacket?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So, the big question, why I always call you down here. How much is it worth?
I think that's pretty easy to say because I've bought stuff from the same show. I would say at an auction price on that would be $3,500.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, good luck.
Have a good one, man. Sounds like you're asking right around the right price.
Okay,
I can do your $17.50.
let's do it.
I'll meet you right over there. We'll do some paperwork and get you paid.
Awesome, thanks.
You can't always get what you want, but I just did.
Rick, how does the buttons work? Sometimes, never, always, or something?
No, sometimes, always, never. That's where the buttons go.
Okay.
I've been pounding my head trying to figure out how I can generate more online sales. So I came up with the idea of doing a live online auction. Chum's taking the pictures. I'm entering everything online. Apparently, this internet thing, it's not a fad after all. All right, already got the description in. Stage-worn Keith Richards jacket. Own a piece of rock and roll history. Auction is scheduled. All right. This is not as hard as I thought. I immersed myself for a few days in how to do this whole internet thing. It seems to be working.
What are you guys doing?
Listing stuff for a live auction.
What do you mean, live auction?
Gold Silver Pawn Shop is doing its first live auction on our Shopify website.
And you were able to do all this?
That is correct. You can teach an old dog new tricks, all right? I've been figuring this out. It's not that hard.
It was like less than a month ago you couldn't send a text message.
I've always been able to send a text message. It's the talk-to-text thingy,
All you have to do is talk.
but it still doesn't work.
Sounds like operator error. All right, well, sounds like you guys kind of got it covered. I'll go back to the shop.
Yeah, I think we got it covered, Big Hoss.
Yeah, go back to your low-tech job. We'll take care of the high-tech stuff. This is pretty easy.
So what do we got here?
It is one-of-a-kind memorabilia from the biggest metal band ever.
Whitesnake?
Motorhead?
Close.
Bon Jovi?
No, you didn't just say that. No. I have a jacket signed by Metallica. They had signed the back here, and also I have a banner that I made.
Who's Muya?
Metal up your ass. They came to Worcester, Massachusetts. They had a signing at a record store there. We skipped a little school and got them signed. Going to the concert, it was just an amazing feeling. It kind of was a little bit of a blur, maybe because it's banging my head so much, but it was just so fun and electrifying and so much energy. It was great.
All right, that's pretty cool. When did you get this?
This is from 1986.
Definitely from 1986.
It's an Iron Maiden jacket.
Yes, it's Metallica though, also.
So you actually made this thing and wore it, huh?
All the time. I even wore it skiing.
All right.
Oh, they signed both of them?
Yep, they signed both of them. I actually have picture proof too.
They look pretty young.
Way back. Cliff Burton, he's a bass player. Unfortunately, about 5 months after this was signed, he died in a bus accident in Sweden. That's what makes it kind of special. That's him signing it.
Yeah, they got like 9 Grammys, but the biggest injustice is they lost the, best metal album, which was the first time it was ever in the Grammys to Jethro Tull, who has a flute.
Yeah, Metallica fans are crazy, as we see here. You took your time to make this, so that shows a lot of love for the band.
Yeah.
Metallica formed in the early 80s when Lars Ulrich put an ad in the paper looking for guys to jam with. James Hetfield responded, and they must have hit it off because now they're metal royalty. So what do you want to do with this stuff?
I like to sell it. I was looking to get $5 grand.
$5 grand.
It's Cliff Burton. Come on.
Okay. I really don't know what this stuff is worth. I'd like to have somebody actually verify the signatures.
Okay.
Do you mind if I give a buddy of mine a call?
Sure.
He works for PSA. They're pretty much the gold standard when it comes to authenticating autographs. And he's probably the world's biggest Metallica fan.
Oh, cool.
Metallica is a huge band, even today. Stuff like this could be worth a lot to metalheads. I just need to see if these signatures are legit.
Wow. This is all about Metallica right here. First 3 albums, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. That was the core 4 guys. Kirk Hammett, guitar. James Hetfield sang, played guitar. Lars, of course, on the drums. And Cliff Burton was kind of like a bass aficionado. I mean, the guy was the most amazing bass player. If he hadn't gone so young, it would have been amazing to see what he could have accomplished. When you have Cliff Burton on Metallica pieces, then you've got something kind of unique. Metallica is rock legends. They're rock icons. I have seen them 35 times. I will continue to see them as long as they're rocking. Their music is just amazing to me. When I get in here, I could start to see the fabric. I could see the signatures. Obviously, that's ink on the fabric. There's no question about that. I'd like to take a look at the jacket a little bit, because it looks like things have, faded a little bit through the years. And I end up seeing the ink on here, which isn't an issue. The next thing I want to do is I want to start to look at these signatures here compared to stuff that I know is authentic of the band. So as we see here, this is a pretty plain signature of Metallica. I love the fact that the guys right here, Full Roar in Massachusetts. Lars really got into writing stuff. And I mean, the drunker they got, the cooler the inscription would be on the item. I mean, James writes them up with an explanation point. And that's just how James was back 83, 84. He almost wrote like a little kid. I'm gonna go down to the Cliff signature. Same thing I'm seeing with my examples here, is I'm seeing Rush signatures, a little sloppy. The formation's there, the sizing is there. With all this gathered here, with the great story, the pictures, You know, guys, I think this is the real deal. I mean, this is a great collection of Metallica autographs.
Okay, what do you think it's worth?
You know, the most key element of Metallica from the early period is Cliff Burton.
Yep.
But I've really never seen a banner, especially a banner that had the name of their first album, and I've never seen a Stoner jacket signed. So I think these pieces are very unique, you know, kind of off the charts for Metallica collectors. The value I would put on these pieces, guys, $1,500 to $2,000 each.
Each?
Yes.
I think that's great. I think that's fair.
Okay, cool. Great pieces.
All right, man, that's awesome.
Cool. I thought it was way cool. She actually got to meet Cliff Burton. I'm gonna go wait out in the parking lot, and if the guys don't buy these, I'm gonna jump all over them.
What do you reasonably expect to get out of them?
Well, I originally thought about 5,000, so probably about 4
I'm thinking more around the $1,000 range.
for both of them.
Reason being is it's gonna cost me a lot of money to frame these. The jacket, you know, I wish it really said Metallica up here instead of Iron Maiden. I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna take a giant photo of Metallica and cover the Iron Maiden up when I frame it. You know, this banner is huge. You know, to get this framed, and by the time I get the photos to put around it, and I set up the whole
You
display.
have photos right here. You can have them. I got plenty of copies.
I'll do 1,500 for both of them, total, out the door.
How about 3,500?
3,500 is just too much for me. It's gonna take up a giant section of my store. So I'm still gonna offer you around 1,500 bucks.
Give me 2,000 and then you have a deal.
I'll go 1,700.
1,850?
$1,700.
Both. Okay, you have a deal.
All right, that's a deal.
All right.
Sean will write you up.
You know, it's a little bit less than I thought, but I'm extremely happy with that. When I was 17, skipping school to see this band and get autographs, I never imagined that I would ever be making any money off of it.
What do you got here?
AC/DC album.
Let There Be Rock.
It's signed by a lot of the original band members.
Yeah, AC/DC, you know, one of the greatest bands of all time. It's got Angus and Malcolm Young, Cliff Williams, and we got Bon Scott on here? That's pretty crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen his signature before.
This is the Holy Grail.
Yeah, it's hard to get someone to sign something from the grave.
Yeah? Yeah. I know AC/DC started in Australia, and they're probably the most recognizable music out there. If I sell this album, I'd really like to get about $10,000. I collect vinyl, but digitizing my collection, and who doesn't want an extra 10 grand?
I know there's at least 10 or 15 AC/DC songs that I love rocking out to.
Yeah, they're all good.
How did you get this?
And it was cool. I used to buy a lot of vinyl, and so I picked this up at a garage sale. It was in a box that I bought.
That sounds a little too good to be true.
It does, doesn't it? I got it home, and I started going through it. It was all autographs, so I thought, yeah.
Well, this is pretty cool. The brothers Angus and Malcolm started the band in 1973.
Right.
They had a nice little following in Australia, but they just didn't pick up over here in the United States until Highway to Hell came out.
Right.
And after that, it was just like a steamroll. I mean, they had hit after hit. They had 3 hits on the top 40, sold over 71 million albums. I mean, everything these guys touched turned to gold, or platinum, literally. And today, they still tour.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
Back in Black, probably.
Yeah, I think that might just be almost everyone's favorite
Yeah.
song. So, how much do you want for it?
I'm asking 10,000.
Whew. That's probably too much, but honestly, I don't really know with this signature right here because it's so rare. Have you ever had it checked out or looked at by?
I've looked it up, and I think it's real. I really do.
If you got some time to hang around, I could call a buddy of mine in, Steve Grad. He's the #1 man when it comes to identifying autographs.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah, let me call him up and see if he can come down.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, give me a minute.
All right, man. You know, I have some doubt in my mind if these are real or not, so I welcome, you know, an expert coming in, and if this is real, I got some money coming my way.
I've seen AC/DC signatures before. I've never seen the Bon Scott signature, so.
Yeah, that's about the rarest of the rare. Collecting signed albums, especially in America, wasn't really popular till about 1980. So, yeah, I could see warning signs going off. So first one I'll take a look at is the Bon Scott signature. See this right here? That's the ink right there. Live ink, no question about it. You could see it right there with the naked eye. So I'm seeing some good signs here. The next thing I want to do is look at period examples. And we look here at a Bon Scott example. His first name had this kind of wavy, almost like a balloon type B. And that's kind of what we see here in the formation here. They add AC, DC. And I want to look at some of the other guys here too, especially the signature of Cliff. Tends to be kind of sloppier than everybody else, you know, really kind of condensed. You see here, CW, basically, a bunch of loops, AC/DC. If we go back over here, C, pretty much W, AC/DC. So those are all good signs.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so what do you think?
Okay. Unquestionably real. This is a really fantastic piece of rock and roll history.
All right, well, he wants $10,000 for it.
$10,000, that's a little steep.
You're not gonna get that signature again.
You're not gonna get it again, but you know, all things considered, it's only worth so much. I'd put the value of this right around $5,000.
Wow.
Whew. Well, you gave me what I need to know.
Cool. Good luck,
you.
man. Yeah, thanks. The resale on something like this would be almost instantaneous because 90% of the Bon Scott signatures I see are forged. Bon Scott's autograph with AC/DC, it's the holy grail.
I'll give you 3,000 for it.
Nah, I couldn't do that. I'm thinking like maybe 7.
7? No, he said it's probably worth 5. Are you willing to go 3,500?
55.
Man, I'll tell you what, I don't think we're gonna get a deal here. My advice to you is get this framed up with a nice piece of glass so that these signatures don't get ruined, man.
Cool, I'll do that.
Hang it on your wall. Have a good day.
All right, thanks. Well, you know, I think I'm gonna just hang on to it because in a couple years it's gonna be worth a whole lot more than 5,000.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
What do we have here?
I have a postcard of the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
And actually, it is signed by all 5 of the original members.
That's really, really cool.
Daddy was a Rolling Stone, huh?
No, it was Papa was a Rolling Stone, and it was a completely different artist.
Why are you here to ruin the party?
When I got the picture, I was excited because I was a fan of the Rolling Stones. I really have no idea what it's worth. I've seen things that they start at 300, up to 3,000. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that maybe it's the 3,000.
Where in the world did you get this?
It was about 30 years ago, and I traded it for an antique dresser. A friend liked the dresser, and I liked the Rolling Stones, so we traded.
Okay, cool.
They look pretty young right there. Were they still in high school or something?
Not high school, but barely out of it. This is the early 60s. This is the way the record companies marketed young bands back then. Remember, it was the early 60s, not the late 60s, so they were supposed to still be like nice boys. I mean, it's a really old promotional photo. Do you know how she got it signed or anything like that?
I don't. I think she got him signed at a concert, but I'm not 100%.
Okay, because I can tell you right now, it's a rare thing to have something signed by the original early Rolling Stones. It really is. So the original members were Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts, and Brian Jones. But Brian Jones drowned when he was just 27. Mick and Keith have been the heart and soul of the Stones for over 50 years. But Brian Jones is the guy who actually started the band. And since he died so young, memorabilia with the signature on it is really rare and really valuable. Do you have an idea what you wanted?
Oh, I don't know.
50 bucks, 100 bucks?
No, I'm talking thousands here. Maybe 3,000.
There's some issues going on with this, though.
Is
you
there?
saw that.
Like?
Like there's massive tape. There's tape over signatures.
When I got it framed, I wanted the signatures preserved. And when I took it to the professional, this is what he did. And I didn't realize it till I took it apart about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're still there, but it really affects the value. Because when people want these, they want them, you know, I mean, the cleaner, the better, okay?
But there's still the 5 signatures on there.
All right. Do you mind if I get someone to look at it?
Yeah, I love that.
All right. I have a friend who's in town right now who really knows what he's doing when it comes to stuff like this.
Okay.
I am going to give him a call. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. I'm excited that we're finally gonna find out if this is real or not. It's been a mystery for 30 years.
How's it going?
What's up, chum? What's happening? Check this out. Know how much you like rock music?
I love rock music. Yeah, the Rolling Stones, the original members. That's really a great photo of these guys, very early too. And we know it's still the original guys because Brian Jones died in 1969, drowning accident. So we could date it 62 to 69 roughly. The Rolling Stones are kind of like top of the mountain. You've got the Beatles, and no one can touch the Beatles. But the Rolling Stones are right there in terms of popularity. Rolling Stones memorabilia goes through the roof. Anytime it's genuine, it's instant gold. Rick, tell me about your concerns.
Well, first off, are they real? And if they are real, how bad is that tape all over them?
Of course. The tape does affect the value, though, because you're altering the piece.
Okay.
I mean, if the signatures are real, and if they check out okay, there's not too many surviving pieces from that period of the Rolling Stones. It's a pretty rare piece.
Okay, so do your magic.
You know, Rick, this isn't really magic, it's science.
Whatever, just do it.
All right, Rick, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a pro scope on this. It lets me kind of go in here and figure out if these signatures are live, first and foremost. And I'm starting to take a look at here, and I see some ink formations. And right in this area, I see some overlapping, which indicates to me, yes, it was actually penned by someone. But who was it penned by? We have to get to that next.
Okay.
Next thing I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go into my database. The first thing I wanna do is I wanna pull up known examples of these guys, how they signed back in the day. So 1962 to 1969, we have to start looking at their signature styles from that period. You know, some of the things I'm starting to observe already, when I look at the piece here, I'm starting to see some stuttering, some pausing, compared to what I know is genuine and real. I'm starting to see some big-time differences. Especially with Brian Jones, it looks like someone went into the Brian signature and stopped after his A, which isn't a good sign. If I had to take a look at Keith Richards, the Keith Richards that's featured on this piece here is so different in letter, shape, formation. The sizing is different. I'm noticing someone's trying to mimic kind of what Keith did. But ultimately, in the end, I think that's what you have on this entire piece here, is where someone is trying to kind of mimic the Rolling Stones.
Okay. All right.
Oh, well.
Sorry. Thanks, man.
Sure, good to see you. Back in the 60s especially, a lot of times at concerts, the manager would sign photos and hand them out, which could have been this case as well. I mean, it's the only way that they could kind of fill that demand, because everybody wanted a piece of the Rolling Stones at that time.
Should have kept the dresser.
Well, I'm a little bit disappointed. I wasn't sure, you know, all these years.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay, thanks a lot. Take care. Well, it's a little misleading when somebody signs somebody else's signature, but it's still a cool picture, and it has been with me for 30 years, so I'll keep it.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So what do we got here?
This is a little punk rock gold right here. This is my 1979 Rock and Roll High School movie poster signed by all the cast and the 4 Ramones that were in the movie.
Rock and Roll High School, which was supposed to be the Saturday Night Fever of punk rock.
I'm at the pawn shop today trying to sell my 1979 Rock and Roll High School Ramones signed poster. This poster is signed by all 4 Ramones that starred in the movie. Joey, Johnny, Marky, Dee Dee. I've had this poster about a year, and I've had it kept in the same suitcase that it came in from the owner. I didn't want to chance any kind of damage. I'm hoping to get $20,000 for my autographed Rock and Roll High School poster today.
Definitely cool. They were trying to make a commercially successful thing about punk rock, which is never really the point.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest movie.
Yeah, it centers around Vince Lombardi High School, and, you know, the Ramones are taking over the school. It's making the principals go insane, and the Ramones become honorary members of Vince Lombardi High School. The plot just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Were you a huge fan or something? You're a Ramones fan?
Huge fan, yeah.
Hey, the guys pretty much created punk rock in the United States, right? I mean...
Definitely.
Yeah, we had Joey, Marky, Dee Dee, and Johnny Ramone. You want to point out some of the autographs to me?
Right here you have Marky, Johnny, and then up here you have Dee Dee and Joey.
You know, for being a folded poster like this, it's actually in pretty good shape.
Oh, good.
What are you looking to do with it?
I'm looking to sell it.
Okay, and what are you looking to get out of it?
20,000.
Wow. That's an awful lot. You got a lot of signatures here, man. Do you mind if I have somebody come down and take a look at them before I give you a price?
That would be really cool.
Well, hang out. I'll be back in a few, all right?
I'm glad to have an expert come in, and I would love to come out of here with more than 20,000. I have zero concerns about this poster being authentic.
Your favorite movie?
You know, actually never saw it.
Rock and Roll High School came out in '79. The Ramones, were they mainstream? No, but more people got to know about them. I think it really helped their careers out a lot.
I mean, he has the 4 Ramones signatures. Any idea if they're real or not?
You know, it looks like there's a lot of signatures on here. Johnny down here, beautiful autograph, kind of, you know, exemplified very neat writing. Dee Dee's up here. This is kind of what I expect to see, usually stacked, just like that. Perfect. Marky Ramone. Once again, stacked signature, seeing the same thing again here. And the last one, Joey, a little different here, a little varied, but I still know that signature. I've gotten it many times. And this is really interesting, this signature here. That's Rob Bottin. 2 years prior to this, Rob worked on a really interesting movie. It's one of the most famous of all time, called Star Wars. Rob Bottin was in the Cantina Band, and his autograph is sought after by just about every Star Wars autograph collector, including myself. He's a recluse, won't sign autographs, doesn't want anything to do with it. So, you know, I mean, if I'm looking at this overall, I think that's the most intriguing signature to me. So, very interesting piece here. Corey, signatures are awesome, but still put the value right at about $2,500.
Okay. Well, Steve, I appreciate you coming down, man.
Yep, good to see you, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. I mean, I know you're asking for 20 grand. I mean, I'd offer you about $1,000 for it.
I couldn't go that low. 5,000?
You know, I could go 15. That's going to be the most. I mean, it's going to cost me $500 to get this thing linen backed and framed.
Can I go 4?
No. I just said 15 is going to be the most I could do.
I'm gonna have to find that right person. I think I'm gonna pass.
All right. Well, if you ever change your mind, I'm here, okay?
Okay, thank you. I highly disagree with what the experts said. I was expecting at least, you know, maybe half of what I was asking. Since I didn't sell my poster today, I'll probably go to an auction house and get the money that I really wanted for it.
Hey, can I help you?
How you doing? Got a Rolling Stones record here I think you might want to buy.
The Rolling Stones limited edition collector's item.
That's right. This is a promotional record that came out in the late 60s. It was distributed only to radio stations, was never released commercially.
Okay, I think I've heard of this. This is one of those weird records they go crazy for. They printed hardly any of them.
Right.
You want me to unwrap this for you?
No, don't do that. This Rolling Stones record was released to radio stations only. It is a limited edition collector's item, and there is a collector who had a copy, and he wanted $7,000 to $10,000 for it. I said, boy, I gotta get a hold of mine and take it down to the pawn shop, make some money.
That is really cool. I mean, was it released any other way?
No, this is more or less a compilation. I think they were promoting the 1969 tour at that time. And they just wanted a nice cross-section of songs to give to the radio stations.
Okay. We have Walking the Dog, Susie Q, who doesn't know that? High and Dry, No Expectations, Dear Doctor. The songs don't sound real familiar. It's not like they're super hits besides maybe Susie Q.
Right.
The Rolling Stones are absolute rock and roll royalty. They came to the United States in the 1960s, part of the British invasion. The Stones have had over 20 top 10 hits and are still selling out stadiums today. Nothing is more rock and roll than that. It's absolutely amazing that it's still in the plastic. Back in the day, you know, you bought records to play them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much were you asking for it?
$4,000.
I mean, in the far crevices of my mind, I remember something about this album, but I don't know nearly enough to figure out a price on it.
Mm-hmm.
The Rolling Stones, anything to do with them can be worth a lot of money. Let me call a friend of mine, and he will know what this thing is worth. He'll know a decent retail value on it, and we'll go from there.
No, I think that'd be great.
Okay? Hang out a little bit. Be right back.
Thanks. I'm all for an expert coming in and taking a look at this record. I hope he tells me that this is the holy grail of Rolling Stones collectibles and that I make the big bucks today.
This supposedly was issued by the record company, 100 copies for England and 100 copies for America. And this is probably one of the more sought-after records in the promo category.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Rolling Stones memorabilia. I've seen one Mick Jagger stage costume in 25 years of doing this. The Rolling Stones have it all. They've pretty much got it in their own warehouses. There's always been a big market for those rarities.
So,
it's a valuation.
Yeah, well, what's it worth?
Yeah, well, the price would be $3,000.
Okay.
Would be the price.
So you think this one's worth $3,000?
Of course not.
Huh?
First clue is, the one we're looking for doesn't say collector's item.
Okay.
All right? And this one here says manufactured in Australia.
Okay.
By EMI Records. This one is easily found on the internet for about 150 bucks.
All right.
Once again, I'm the bubble burster.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Sorry about that.
Problem.
So obviously, $4,000 is not going to happen.
No, I guess not.
Do you still want to sell it, or is just your
Make me an offer.
50 bucks?
How about 100?
I'll tell you what. I'll go 60 bucks on it.
75.
60 bucks.
65. You don't see these around. I mean, it's vinyl.
You know what? I'll give you the 65 bucks for it.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll meet you right over there, and we'll do some paperwork.
Okay, thanks. I was hoping to take my wife to Paris on a vacation, but instead I'll take my wife out to a nice French dinner.
What do we have here?
These are rock posters from San Francisco in the 60s.
Whoa, that's definitely different.
How the hell are you supposed to read this?
You gotta be pretty high. Well, I came up today to sell some rock and roll posters from the 60s. For every concert I went to, I collected a poster. When I looked them up, mint condition was worth $8,000. So I want to sell them for $3,500, but the minimum I'll take would be $2,200.
We got Fillmore Auditorium, and this is
Grateful Dead.
The Grateful Dead. Everyone went to at least one Dead concert. I mean, they toured for 30 years, right?
Yeah.
1967.
67, yes.
Yeah. Was that the Summer of Love?
Yes, it was.
This was the height of San Francisco hippies, the whole thing going on. The music changed, culture changed. It's a great part of American history. People started seeing a lot of things wrong with society, and they started speaking out, and it just snowballed into this. The 60s had a lot of competing ideas. Free love, anti-war, civil rights, but the one thing everyone seems to agree on was the music. All right, so we got like 24 prints.
Crosby, Stills, Nash.
And Young, yeah, this is really early. Rolling Stones, 1969. Still love the Rolling Stones. Can't believe they're still alive. What's this right here?
Buffalo Springfield.
I'm not really good at reading hippie. These posters are amazing. I'm assuming I can sell them for 100 to several $100 a piece. But there's 24 of them, and that's a lot of work, and it could take years to sell them all. Do you want to pawn these or sell them?
I'm gonna sell them today.
Okay. How much were you looking for?
I'm looking for $3,500.
That's more than I want to pay. Some of these are in incredibly rough shape. Thinking more like $2,000 for all of them. You know, what happens with these is I put 3 or 4 on the wall, I sell them, I gotta put the other ones on the wall, because I just can't have my whole store with rock posters.
What do you say for 22?
21.
21.50.
21?
50?
21?
50.
21.
21.25.
All right, 21.25.
Gonna be sad to leave them here, but I am moving on with my life, and I'm sure that somebody who really appreciates this is gonna pick them up.